All right, the struggle for the soul of the PDP is still much on, and with the Governors Forum insisting on a convention against the position of the Wike camp, it seems the battle line is drawn. How will the party survive this? Dr. Sam Amadi, Director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought and Arise analyst, joins me now to unlock the imbroglio in the PDP, so to use that word. Thanks very much, Sam.
Thank you.
Whichever way you want to look at the PDP, it seems to be surviving its premeditated fragmentation, you want to say?
Yeah, I think so. I think every day it looks like it's getting infusion of blood. It's looking headier than it was a month ago. I mean, PDP ought to have gone to the grave, but it's there. And with perhaps that's what this Governors Forum meeting is all about, because no real key thing came out of it. It's bonding. It's a process of kind of solidifying the resolve of those who want to resuscitate PDP. And
the resolve that the convention in November must
go on. So on the kudos, I think PDP is now, perhaps if it was 20% opposition party, it has gained strength. It's going to be like, I will give you like 40 to 50. So it's arguably stronger clearly than the Labour Party in terms of structure and political party. So PDP is still the major opposition party today, because they are looking stronger with the governors, and what they're doing, you know, the clarity they're having now, that there are going to be a showdown, one way or the other, with the Wike camp, let's put it that way. You know, you can't continue to blur the difference.
I'm going to come to that, but I mean, you used to be, you know, a partisan card-carrying member of the PDP. How easy, you know, is it, or was it, for the soul of the party to be left in one man's hands? Well, considering the contributions of the protagonists. For
example. First, I served PDP government, Senate, Foreign Affairs, and NEC. So even though I didn't quite partisan. But again, you're right. That was a party we served. And then, strong. So what has happened? When PDP lost it in 2015, I remember having a conversation with then Public Secretary and a couple of people. I said, look, this is the right time now to rebuild the party. So it looks like after PDP lost, the president himself, President Jonathan, famously left. Obasanjo had already left, publicly tore his membership card. Ken Namani, who was my boss when he was Senate President himself, left. So
that was the beginning of the downfall of PDP.
It was left for Governor Wike and a couple of persons. First, they brought Sheriff, it was a disaster. They find a way to get him out.
Wasn't he a mole there then?
It was a disaster. That was a disaster. They brought, because they were actually fishing for people. There had no clarity. Now, instead of building, carefully, structurally, they were looking for heavy hitters to just go to primary. That's the problem. So when there's no election, off-season, off-election cycle, the PDP should have sat down to rebuild the party. They're always waiting for time of primary. So the guy who financed the rebuild finances it with a tendency to get a ticket, and that's what happened. So this guy
have control of the party.
This guy then financed the party, put in executive officials, determined caucuses in different states.
But you have to give kudos to the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, because, I mean, about 8 years ago, it was like the lone voice, the lone, insulator for the PDP, financier and everything, when that party's soul was denigrated.
So that's the problem. So he financed, he did everything great, and he has a sense in which this is my party. That's the first thing. And maybe inevitably, if you finance it, if you pay the bills, so he would feel it's my party. Then when it is my party, and unfortunately, 2029, Atiku came in back with Tambuwa, who left, and they tried to wrestle Atiku, wrestle the ticket, okay? He supported Tambuwa, the FCT minister. Atiku won them. And then 2023, he thought, in fact, he was saying, I'm not a candidate, I'm not an aspirant, I'm a candidate. He felt confident because he has built a structure. He had done a lot. He was gaming. He was going to kind of hit the net and win the match. And surprisingly, they upstaged him. And so since then, the 2022 election, he worked against the party clearly. And he's still working against the party in the sense that he sees the party as something that has to be in kind of shielded away for now until 2027, because he's going to support the president of the country, APC. So my worry, the illogic is here, is that his interest is very clear. PDP should not have a strong, competitive presidential candidate. PDP should therefore stay, maybe win some local elections, they do a deal. Look, his own concept of PDP is PDP-APC merger. So PDP stays as a party, APC is our presidential candidate. They will decide, maybe down ballot, Senate, House of Reps will share it. Maybe take Rivers, PDP takes Rivers, APC takes this. They share it. Now, Makinde themselves have a different protocol. They're looking at it. Either Makinde will run as president, or he will like his party to win, to stand a chance of maybe becoming
president of the Senate or
something, or even putting his own person as VP. So these conflicts, it's inevitable that they're going to be in fallout. Initially, they were peppering it. Some people like former Senate president were trying to do reconciliation. We can square the circle. But the circle cannot be squared in this context, because one thing has to give way. Either the PDP rebuilds, as they're doing now, as a strong opposition to President Tinubu's party, APC, which is now Wike's party by virtue of default and engagement. So the build-up now is clear, parallel or no parallel. You got to get so one thing has to give.
And the parallel lines, are not even coming together at all to
and
make
can't.
one. Yeah. Particularly when you look at former President Bukola Saraki's reconciliation committee. It's heading nowhere. It's like,
dead or ever. But actually, the problem with reconciliation is, if there are value disagreements, it can converge. So let's assume Mr. Wike wants PDP to follow rule of law. Take, for example, the question of 𝔼𝕝 𝔼𝕝. It's a solvable problem. So, 𝔼𝕝 𝔼𝕝 is a secretary. People allege he should have left the position. So he can square the circle here. He can say, okay, you know what? Why not allow 𝔼𝕝 to finish his tenure? And they agreed. Don't forget, at the last NEC meeting, Wike got almost what he wanted. First, he got affirmation of 𝔼𝕝. He also got the fact that the convention should be pushed to November. But what has changed then is that now the governors forum are now strong, insisting on that, and they know the zoning formula and all the things will work against one party or the other. So at the end of the day, like the Prime Secretary said, the party has a constitution, has a rule. And if they follow their rules and constitution, then INEC, and that's the key point here, everybody is playing this game, the shadow they're playing, because INEC has not proved to be independent and firm. Okay? If INEC was a manager of rules that is independent, INEC knows the process that triggers what. It doesn't matter what you people fight politically, you get the point. But the team, the convention will hold, and the team that wins by the rule, INEC will affirm it. So Wike's strength or Makinde's strength or Saraki's strength or anybody's strength in Nigerian politics is because our rules are not clear. And the regulator is very totally, either corrupt and also not fair. So if the regulator is fair, this is a convention, this is the NEC, this is the governors forum, these are the authoritative. By the way, Minister Wike, powerful guy, is not the governor, is not the NWC member. So if he feels otherwise, his voice shouldn't carry the day. What carries the day is the NEC of the party that has the process of decision making, and the NWC of the party elected, the secretary, the acting chairman, the political secretary, they decide. And so if that decision is in line with the rules, INEC will affirm it. But the problem we have here is that we don't know what INEC stands for. So tomorrow, there'll be a curveball. It goes to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court will say,
no candidates.
Party, Supreme Court will throw the ball and say, it's party affair.
Yeah, it's party affair.
What is a party affair? When there's a dispute as to what the party has done, you have to interrogate that dispute and say, this is right, this is wrong. So we are in an era, we're in a terrain where there are no rules and no clarity. And so So one person can
and
hold
that
down.
seems to be affecting Nigeria's democratic development.
Look at Labour Party, the same thing. One person says, I don't agree.
What's the implication of all this? I mean, in the presidential election, for example.
3 things are happening.
INEC has said that it doesn't recognize the present leadership of Labour Party, and Abure is insisting, and his group, that they are the authentic leaders. What is the implication in 2027?
Is incorrect. If INEC says, I don't recognize A, then they should recognize B. But neither A nor B. And so there's a build-up, confusion. So suddenly, the tenure will expire in sometime in November. If they don't resolve it, a new guy will come. We don't know what he's going to look like. He might now strike the gavel on the wrong side. That's number one. So you go back to the court is confused. So look at the problem now. What I mean for democracy is that we're going to go into an election where there's no clarity and too much desperation. That's a recipe for violence. So people take laws into your hand, or suddenly the Supreme Court wakes up and says a prominent, imagine if P2B emerges as candidate, for example, of one side of the party.
Let's say for Labour
Party. One
side of Labour Party.
And then there's a mobilization campaign is going on, and suddenly the Supreme Court says that candidate
is not recognized.
And if it happens for Labour, maybe having to Atiku in another party that has a fraction in ADC that has problem. So what is going to happen? Then the president will be a show-in, the APC gets in, that the country will boil. So I think INEC and the judiciary should be careful, because they are building up to violence because of the incapacity to arbitrate rules. And clearly, I say, is it rocket science? Look, the party has a constitution. If you say that the tenure of Abura has expired, there's a remainder of the neck of Labour Party. That neck should be able to sit together as a neck. But it's a voluntary. When the Supreme Court said in our case long ago that the party leadership, the court does not force it on party. What the Supreme Court meant is that once the party has followed their rules, the party will mark it. The party will not say, go and settle. Well, let's settle again. You have to arbitrate and say, has the party followed their rules? If the answer is yes, we can't impose, even if their rules are bad.
So you have to adjudicate on that.
You must adjudicate. Okay. So it's actually not good judicial craftsmanship to say no jurisdiction. That's wrong. So INEC has to be clear. INEC is adjudicator. INEC has to look at the rules and say, as long as we are concerned, this is the right leadership. If you don't like, you go to court. Court will say, based on your constitution, based on your processes and the Electoral Act, INEC did the right adjudication. Bingo. That's how it works in Administrative Law 101. That is how it's supposed to work. The problem is that we are all now transactionalists. INEC is waiting for body language. INEC is, everybody's just confused, and the courts themselves are not reliable. So this is a landmine. In 2027, we woke up one morning and see that the 3 or 2 presidential candidates have no tickets, are not on the ballot. And then we are left with perhaps 1 presidential candidate and 1 lame dog from 3 or 4 10 lame dog from a unknown party, and that's a slam dog. So it's not good for democracy. There should be clarity. By now we should know who is a party leader, who is not a party leader. We should know who will emerge as candidate, and when they emerge, we'll be sure that these are valid candidates for election. All
right, thanks so very much. Dr. Sam Amadi, Director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, and Arise analyst, for coming to shed light on the new development in the People's Democratic Party, PDP.